Well, now I can say good afternoon, since we crossed over that zone. And I want to go ahead and get our program started today. And again, welcome you back to our speaker series, which has been fighting Mother Nature, among other things. But we're glad we're here today, and glad that you were able to join us. You know, for me personally, one of the great things about moving back to this region has been the ability to bore my children with all the things that I remember growing up. And certainly, and I won't try to sing it now, but you all know what I'm talking about when I would say, you know, the opening credits to Wehrenberg Theater, the theme song, and the whole process is like a childhood memory. My children were not impressed, by the way. In case you were thinking about that. Well, let's get on with our program. Our speaker today is Kelly Hoskins. She's the Vice President of Marketing and Advertising for Wehrenberg Theatres. She started working in her chosen field just out of high school, landing a job with is it Chiat Day Advertising in St. Louis. Her first job at the agency was laying out display ads for movies. Later, she handled promotions, publicity, and media buying for the studio's Midwest marketing and advertising campaigns. In addition to representing major studios such as 20th Century Fox, Buena Vista, Universal, Warner Bros., and Paramount, Kelly acted as media buyer for national clients including McDonald's, Ralston Purina, Hardee's, and AAA Auto Club. She left the agency in '95 to join Wehrenberg. Her challenge was to head the marketing department, expanding in both staff and responsibilities. Her duties include branding and promoting the company and individual movies, public relations, group sales, and advertising. Kelly was graduated from Maryville University and has a certification from the Kellogg University Executive Agenda in Chicago. And she attended the Disney University Customer Service Training and was certified as a senior publicist for Fox, Disney, Paramount, Universal, and DreamWorks, to name a few. She's extremely active in the community, lending her time and energy to both professional and nonprofit organizations. She's a member of the American Marketing Association and is on the board of directors for the St. Louis Advertising Club. Also, she's a committee member for the Salvation Army Tree of Lights and a lifetime member of the Army Women's Auxiliary. She's been married for a long time to Donald, who's a firefighter captain, and they have two sons, Adam and Ashley. Would you please help me welcome Kelly Hoskins.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Ah, wow. I can sing that song, by the way. Ba, 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 ba. Before I worked for Wehrenberg, I used to think they were saying, "Where is the theater?" instead of Wehrenberg Theatres. Needless to say, I learned pretty quickly what they were saying. We were talking about the Ronnies and the Ronnies 20, and I'm going to ask a few questions through the presentation so you can all tell me where you go. I hope it is the Ronnies in one of our theaters, but we also have some other theaters that we're competitive with that we know are excellent. So feel free to talk about that. But we were talking at the table, and I'm a little intimidated with this group. We're going to talk about history of Wehrenberg, and you guys probably know a lot more than I do. Back in the Nickelodeon days and things like that. So I would like this to be an interactive and casual presentation, and just blurt out or raise hand if you have questions or any comments or things that you can relate, because what we find out is movie going and the movie business and the whole entertainment action of going into a movie theater and sitting in a dark auditorium with a large group of people is very personal. So feel free, and it's, again, a casual presentation. It's a privilege and an honor. Thank you for having us here today. Terry, thank you for inviting us. And during this presentation, I'm going to ask a couple questions. I'll ask a lot of questions of you, but a couple questions specifically will be in regards to data. And whoever gets them right will get a book from our 100th anniversary. So I don't know if you guys are aware, but Wehrenberg Theatres is the oldest theater circuit in the country, family owned. Mr. Kruger, Ronald P. Kruger, is our president, and he is third generation. That is holds a big weight with the motion picture studio, since the big three AMC, Regal, and Cinemark, which we'll talk about later on, have about 60% of the movie theaters in the country. We're ranked about 21, so it is a big deal. That means St. Louis and surrounding territory like Jefferson County and where we have theaters in the peripherals can get first-run film like New York, Chicago, and LA. So the more you go to our theaters, the more the attendance grows and the better film we get. Sorry, I'm learning this. Again, those of you that know my boss, please forget that I'm showing this because this is Mr. Kruger, and it is at the Ronnie's Drive-In on its first birthday, and that's what the cake is. He wouldn't be happy that I had that picture in there. Oops, pressing on. I shared with you. Ronald Kruger is the namesake for Ronnie's Drive-In, and now Ronnie's 20. He lives in South County, by the way, right down the street from the theater. Who in here has been to the Ronnie's? Wonderful. Thank you for keeping me in a job. Ronnie's is the largest grossing theater in the Midwest, just to let you know. It gets about 3.5 million people through the doors in a year. Just some general information, our theaters, and we'll get into it, but we get more people in our doors at all 15 of our theaters than the Rams, Blues, and Cardinals combined in 1 year. This concept right here, the drive-in, was taken after the original floor plan, which was on the property, which was the original Ronnie's Drive-In. Then the Ronnie's Drive-In went to, I believe, and forgive me, correct me if I'm wrong, a 4-plex, an 8-plex, and then we gutted everything and rebuilt the 20-plex. Oops. How the circuit started, Fred Wehrenberg went to the World's Fair in 1904 in St. Louis in Forest Park. And he was a saloon owner. And back in those days, in 1903, 1904, there were saloons everywhere. The deal was to come up with the best gimmick you could possibly come up with in order to get people to come to your particular saloon. So he went to the World's Fair specifically to find a new gimmick. He walked into a presentation and happened to be magical. It was about the new thing over the horizon, movies, and he got bitten. In 1906, they purchased their very first building. They went away from the saloon and purchased their very first building. It was a closed-down bakery. And they drug in, I think, 96, 98, or 89 kitchen chairs from the bakery. And they set them up to show the very first motion picture. And the reason it was 89 seats is, it's my understanding, and it is in the book, so I guess it's true. If you had more than 90 seats in a facility, you got charged triple a fee for entertainment. So they made sure they pulled in 89 seats. I think it's interesting they charged 5 cents for the movie, 5 cents for beer, and look at their gross, $4.45. And I just found out this information recently. When they started doing this, and Mrs. Wehrenberg played the organ, and so before every performance she did the vaudeville organ, and come to find out that some of her sisters danced on the stage before the presentation as well. So they had startings of the Nickelodeon era, and it was going on during that time period. But something else I found very interesting, they never offered food in this makeshift movie theater. There was a vendor outside the movie theater that was selling things like peanuts and popcorn and hot dogs. And so the guests would go outside, buy their food, and bring it in. So then they decided, okay, we need a concession stand. So that's where that evolved. I'm sorry, I can't get this right. During the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and I'm going to kind of skip through some things because we really don't have enough time to go through 107 years. Although I'd like to, actually. It's really pretty fun, some of it. This is the first built theater in St. Louis for Wehrenberg Theatres, specifically for showing movies. It was South Jefferson. The majority of the Wehrenberg Theatres started south in South St. Louis, mostly in the city, because then everyone lived in the city areas and you could walk to your local theater. So the buildings were tending to be around South City. I think this is the oldest picture we have, actually. You see we had to Photoshop it a little bit. Then we had the Melba Theater. Are you guys familiar with some of these locations? Because I see heads. Great. Okay. I'm not familiar with some of these. The Melba Theater apparently was the first one of its kind with the lighted marquee and really gave the Fox Theater type of entrance and etc. Then we had the Cinderella, which was the corporate offices for Wehrenberg Theatres. It's my understanding for about 60 years. It was on the top floor. So all of the business happened at the Cinderella Theater, and that was located in Cherokee, on Cherokee at Iowa. Then we have the Virginia Theater. Do you guys remember that? That building is still there, and I'm trying to get someone to let me go through it. I know it's probably empty, but I'd love to go in and see the dome area. They were very proud of these theaters. This is a really great picture. This is a picture of Mr. Wehrenberg, and he's with a producer from 20th Century Fox. And they're just shaking hands, and they're outside with the car. I love the car, and I love the Marx Brothers, horse feathers. Like I said, that was their corporate offices, so they had a lot going on. What?
Talkie up on the upper.
I know, glad you noticed that. So fast forward 20s, 30s, 40s, we're going to get into the 50s and 60s. Roughly, I guess it was 59, 60, the Creve Coeur Theater was built on Olive Street. Are you guys familiar with it's now a Creve Coeur AMC, but at the time it was a Creve Coeur Wehrenberg. It was the first run film in the suburbs for Wehrenberg Theatres and for any of the theater circuits. There was another theater circuit operating when Wehrenberg came into its own. That was Franchen and Marco, and then it went to Arthur Theaters. You guys are familiar with those, like the Stadium 6, those types. And I don't know, a little piece of information I'll let you know, and it's not in my presentation. St. Louis used to be the Midwest film offices. Were located on Grand Avenue in the Fox building. So all of the people would go from New York to LA, and they'd stop in St. Louis during this time period. So this is a really, really energetic time period for making movie theaters and making deals with movie studios. And you were sharing something. You want to share stuff? I think that sounds exciting that you guys know about all this. Just blurt it out.
No, she was benching the Esquire.
Oh, okay, yeah, and the Esquire. Esquire was one of the premier theaters, absolutely. That was my favorite theater before I came to Wehrenberg, but don't tell my boss.
That's the one on Clayton.
Yes, yes. And then the Tivoli also. The Tivoli is a wonderful theater. So anyway, the Creve Coeur was built, and then this was the era of the drive-in. At one point, Wehrenberg Theatres had 9 drive-ins, and they were very successful, 66 park-in. I hear this all the time, and I worked in a theater too. It's the most fun time of my life. It was very fun. It was hard work, but it was very fun. You were with all your friends. Drive-in, though, we were always afraid to work at the drive-in. You were courageous.
Why were you afraid?
Just because it was nighttime and it was wide open, and yeah, I like the movie theater set. What? You're right. I was just a little intimidated. That's neat. Anybody else work at a drive-in? They had good food The drive-ins had good food. You always got the chili dog, right? All right. This is where Ronnie's started as well. This is the first Ronnie's drive-in on the same property that the 20plex is on. Oh, really good story. I'll tell you this really quick story. Mrs. Kruger, who was second generation owner of Wehrenberg Theatres, Mr. Kruger, my boss's mother, she held the reins for about 30 years. She was wonderful, I understand. I never got to meet her, but she was wonderful to work for. I'm not kidding you. I love this story, and I hope you love it as much as I do. All 9 theaters had flower boxes in the front. When you pulled in, it made the circle, and you could pull out. She would, in the spring, we have a distribution company called R&H, and they have big trucks, flatbed trucks. She would commission the trucks. She would be in one, or one year they said she drove one of those trucks. They'd go to a local nursery, they'd load them up, and she would physically plant herself all 9 drive-ins. I know, and she did that for 10, 15 years. I think that's pretty cool, actually. She loved it. She wanted them to look special. That's what the whole deal was. Yeah, I always thought the drive-in food was much better than the inside theater food. But it could have been the grease, all the grease you could use at the drive-in. We have just been able to use grease and fryers in the inside theaters, so it was never used before. That's a good story. Any other drive-in stories that you want to talk about? That you can talk about? Okay. Oops. Okay, this is the first question. How many gallons of Pepsi products do we pour per year? For your book. Does anybody want to raise their hand and take a serious guess?
50 million.
How much?
50 million.
No, not quite that much. 45.
45,000.
Come on, I want to give somebody this. It's in the thousands. Go ahead. It's in the 100,000s. Up. I want to give you this book. It's 800,000, but whoever did 350, you're closest. Oh, then there you go. It's 800,000 gallons of soft drinks. And we're ranked 21, so can you imagine those theaters that have hundreds of theaters, how much they go through? I can't imagine it. Okay, just some points about Wehrenberg Theatres that you may or may not know about. We're ranked 21, I already talked about that. Largest movie chain in the country, and we operate 15 theaters with 210 screens total. 9 theaters and 131 screens are in St. Louis or surrounding in St. Louis. 33% currently of our chain is 3D digital, which I know you guys are hearing more about digital and where we're going. It looks like at the end of summer of 2011 we'll be 100% digital, which will be the first circuit in the country, if not the world, that will be entirely digital. Digital is good, by the way. The reason we want to go to digital is because we can offer more product. It's no longer going to be just a movie theater. It'll be currently, and we'll talk about it later, Carmen, opera, ballet series, things of that nature, and this allows us to be able to stream it in a lot faster. We host the only IMAX 3D in the city. The Science Center does have an IMAX. It's an OmniMax, which is the circle, and they play the educational product. We play the commercial product. And this year, IMAX and IMAX 3D has over 20 features that you're going to be able to see. So Ronnie's is the only one of its kind. There is an IMAX at the Regal Theater in the Mills, but it's a very small IMAX. In fact, I'm surprised IMAX put their name on it. It's a good facility, it's just a very small one compared to the Ronnie's. If you're going to see an event film, you need to see it on a 70-story screen. So, We also introduced stadium seating in St. Louis. We were the first in St. Louis and through the region to introduce stadium seating. I'm going to take you through a couple of our buildings. You guys probably haven't seen all of them. This is our Bloomington, Illinois facility at night. I think we have stock and neon, I swear. This is our Arnold 14. You know, really quick story about when we opened Arnold, and I love that neighborhood. It's one of my favorites. And I know Great Escape is really doing great gangbusters there too. It's just such a great community. It supports everything you bring in. But when we had a grand opening for Arnold, I was walking around with the mayor, and the mayor said to me, he said, you know, and this was, 7 years ago, so that whole strip where Arnold is wasn't really built up. He says, you know, this makes it perfect. That's all we need is a Dairy Queen, and we're set. And guess what? They got their Dairy Queen. They've got everything now. Oops. This is our mega screen. And I'll talk a little bit more about our mega screen later, but it's the first concept of its kind in the country. It's our concept to compete against IMAX. And this is in the valley, Chesterfield Valley. O'Fallon 15, or no, where am I? De Pere. You guys know the De Pere. The De Pere, used to be our flagship theater. Used to be a 2 million person theater. And because we were talking about the roads, it's down to 1.5 million. It is a pretty theater. The inside needs to be renovated, and it's on the drawing boards to be renovated. And we want to put a luxury lounge there. So, yeah, thank you for saying I think the outside is beautiful. This is our O'Fallon 15 in Illinois. We have 2 theaters in Illinois, actually 3, but 2 in this general facility. And we just renovated this. That's the lobby, which I love this circle. It's linoleum and I forget the material, sorry, but it's linoleum basically. Okay, another question for a book. Ready? Largest demographic cell that goes to the movies. Over 65? No. Teenagers. It's teenagers. And you'll see, you'll see later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You'll see later if I have that slide. If I don't, you don't need to see it. But my point is, the largest cell just going once is 25 to 54. Because 12 to 17s are frequent moviegoers, the frequency builds their cell, so it's 12 to 17. In other words, we have to pay attention to both of them. And that kind of gives you, even though 20% are 12 to 17, they go at least once a month, 47% of those people. So this is our St. Charles 18. It's pretty, it's very large. It's one of our larger buildings that it's a challenge to find different things to do in the lobby and take care of the seating and the carpeting and the paint. This is our little baby stadium seating St. Clair 10. It was a $1 million renovation a couple years ago. Fairview Heights, anyone here from Fairview Heights? No, it's a difficult market. They have a lot of restrictions on children. They're not supposed to be out alone after 6. And let's face it, everybody. We know that movie theaters are sometimes used as babysitters. So parents drop off the kids, they leave them there, and then they come and pick them up. Fairview Heights has put a stop to that. Consequently, has stopped movie going to a degree. But we're building it. We're working with Fairview Heights, and we're building it. Okay, book question. Number of U.S. cinemas in operation today. How many movie theaters are in the country?
Are you talking theaters or screens?
Theaters. We'll do screens later. Good point. So be mulling on that.
About 2,000
You said 5,000? 6,200.
Oh,
What'd you say? 6,200.
thank you. Thank you.
6,200, and I don't think that sounds like a lot. And then when you delve into the numbers, the top 3 theater circuits, that's AMC, Regal, and Cinemark, own 60% of the movie theaters in the country. So everybody else is 1 and 2 and 3 movie theater companies, with the exception of our size. So it's kind of, unbalanced, but 6,200, I was really surprised at the number. I thought there was a lot more. Oops, excuse me. In 2010, we built the 5-star concept. Many of you who travel and been to movie theaters in other markets on the East and West Coast, there is a concept, dinner and a movie, where you offer a full menu. It's, I was sharing with our group over here that we gutted out an auditorium, 200 seats. We added 35 lounge chairs that kick back, heat, are the most luxurious things. I mean, literally, 2 people can, if I sit in a chair, I can have my husband sit here. Of course he doesn't, he has his own chair, but that's how big they are, and they kick back, and you have you have perfect vision to the screen. We have wait staff. We have a full-blown menu, coconut shrimp, cocktails, anything you can imagine on this menu. And for 2.5 hours, you were waited on hand and foot. We have the traditional concession fare as well. And at the end of the meal and the end of the movie, you're greeted with a warm towel, and then you exit. If you visit this concept, you will never see a movie in a regular theater again. The price is an $8 upcharge, but you get $4 back. You get $4 back and a concession coupon. So you get $4 off your concession. We had to keep it affordable because our market can't handle too much increase in pricing. So, and yes, the studio still gets 60% of that.
Is it $8 plus admission?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh, $8 plus.
Yes. And that essentially pays for the additional overhead. You guys can figure that out, the wait staff and everything else. You can buy online, you can select your seats, and your tickets will be waiting for you when you get there. It's really a nice concept. We're testing it. We opened it in November, and we're testing it, and it's 76% full every weekend. And for New Year's Eve, it was full for all the shows, all 5 shows, because we did a New Year's Eve special. I know, it's fun. And we're going to roll it out at other theaters. We have theaters in Rochester, Minnesota, and Mayo Clinic is a big participant of our theater, and they want us to see the luxury lounge there. So, and these are some photos that I took for you guys yesterday, actually.
What's showing there?
Wow.
Usually it's the film that opens that week. It's the top film, and it's also targeted to adults 25 to 49. So we're certainly not going to show, somebody was talking about Hall Pass. I think we did show Hall Pass in there though, or a drunk movie or something. It's usually Secretariat or something like that.
Who has the responsibility to wake up all the people that fall asleep?
You think that's funny, but they do. My husband was one of them. Oh. What's so beautiful about this, Mr. Kruger got to design this auditorium, and I hope I got the picture in here, but he went back to his roots of the old Nickelodeon days. This is a waterfall curtain that before the movie comes up, everything in the auditorium is satin, and the lighting is from the Ambassador Theater. When the Ambassador Theater was tore down, he went in and got all the fixtures, and so all the fixtures in this auditorium are the Ambassador, and if you can remember that, if you guys know, it was cut glass, green, reds, blues, absolutely beautiful. This is a very luxurious auditorium. I'm not sure if you're aware, we have 1,000 to 1,200 employees in our circuit in St. Louis, and then we have 6 theaters out of St. Louis. So we're a pretty big employer-based company, and we thank everybody who's local, who attends our theaters, because we aren't the big guys. We aren't the AMCs. We aren't the Great Escapes. We don't have the pocketbook, and we like to keep all the business in St. Louis. Oh, there it is. You can barely see them. And you're really not close to anybody, so, and you can't see the wait staff. The way the risers, maybe you can't see, way the risers are underneath the chairs, when the wait staff goes by, you can't see, because you're looking at a different angle at the screen. Another question. Number of screens in the U.S. 38,000. 38,000 movie screens, and those are first run. Those are not dollar houses. Those are not, the sub run, what we call sub run, that they get the film 5 weeks later or something like that. The book, I forgot to mention, the book that I'm handing out is, we celebrated our 100th anniversary 7 years ago. We're 107 now. We commissioned a local writer, Steve DeBellis. Some of you may know him. He's a historian. To write the book on Wehrenberg. So it was a labor of love for us for 8 months, and hope you guys enjoyed who win it. Okay. We are incredibly philanthropic, and this is really near and dear to my heart, as well as Mr. Kruger and Mrs. Kruger. This is to give you an idea of the charities that we are tied up with. We're a silver sponsor for the Komen, which means they're on our screens, and all of these people I will share with you are on our screens. They're creative for them. We make sure we run it about their event. We distribute their peripherals. We are totally committed to our charitable partners. This is a fun one. This is an industry charity. We have roughly 4 charities. I schedule them out every year, so as you're seeing them is how they happen. Right now we're selling the Gold Hearts for the Variety Children's Charity. This is an industry charity for us. The motion picture studios support Variety at a national level. And so last year, look at that donation, $93,951 we donated last year. This is our 9th year of doing it. We couldn't do it without our guests, because we upsell them at the concession stand. Buy a Gold Heart, and they do, which is so sweet. Oops. This is our second industry charity that we do roughly in August and September, Will Rogers Institute. It definitely is an industry charity. It has to do with lung disease, asthma. It also has a branch of it that takes care of movie stars that are down and out, like you've seen on the movies, the old movies. They have no more money. They need medical support. That's what this organization does as well. And last year we raised $43.79. It was our 2nd year of doing it. Still wasn't bad for us. This is our big one. Ron Kruger, Midge Kruger, myself, we're lifelong members, as it was said in the bio, of the Salvation Army. We do an event for the past 25 years called the Cannes Film Festival. I don't know if you guys know about it. It's usually the first Saturday of December. The studios absolutely hate it. They start 2 weeks out calling Mr. Kruger, and he ignores the phone calls, of course. He sends them to me, thanks. We take away their box office for a whole Saturday. So if you donate cans, 5 cans, you get into a movie for free. Now the good news is not everybody hears that message. I mean, we've been doing it for 25 years, but we still have people that walk up and want to pay. So they at least show some kind of box office. But we're not getting box office, so the studio's not getting box office. But what is happening is the Salvation Army has kettles, counter kettles in our theaters, and they're usually on site that day, and they're collecting money. And as a result, this year, our goal was 300,000 cans. We made it to 295, and that feeds the shelters through August. So that's a really big event for us. And UPS and Clear Channel in all of our markets help us out with this endeavor. So I love that. I just wanted to share this with you a little bit longer. Oops. It's a big ordeal. Wehrenberg.com. How do you guys get your movie showtimes? Computer? Who gets it by computer or phone? Okay. Who gets it by newspaper? Is that the Post-Dispatch? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. We did focus groups, moviegoers in St. Louis. 90% of them acquired their showtimes through Google on their smartphone or on our website. We really are looking at pulling out of the Post, just to let you guys know who get your showtimes in the Post. We do have phone numbers for each theater that you can get showtimes as well, and we're a Fandango company.
Why do you want to pull out of the newspaper?
Wow. I'm going to tell you some things that I'm not allowed to tell you, really, but I'll go ahead and tell you. I have to look around here. It's because some of our information is proprietary. It's enormously expensive. I mean, I'm a media buyer, okay? It's enormously expensive. And they've been taking advantage of that, and their readership has been plummeting. I told you guys earlier, thank you for reading the newspaper and going to the movies, but you're not the frequent moviegoer, okay? So I need you to try to change your habits. To give you an example to that question, because that's a great question, I went to the Post a couple months ago and said, I'm pulling the ad, which is, like I said, an enormous amount of money. We are the third largest advertiser in the Post. They've been running it for free for us. Gee. Okay, so from a business partner standpoint, there's some questionable issues there. Not to mention that the media isn't as strong as it used to be. Yes, ma'am.
I will tell you a couple times looking at the movie times in the paper, they are wrong when you go to the movie itself.
Yes, they are. I know. And we hope to solve that too. I mean, that they have to lay that out. Yes, ma'am.
We have iPhones and computers, but we have never thought of looking on either one of those for a movie. We always read the paper.
I know. Me too. I do it too. It's my generation and up. Absolutely. What we will do and what we are doing, and I'm going to go through this, is shoring up all of our channels to reach you. I gave you some brochures on the table of our MVP card, which is our loyalty program. And when you sign up for that, your email or your cell phone text number immediately goes into this program. We are in the middle of changing how we do business by reaching out and touching each and every one of you. So the concept is you would sign up for your favorite theater and receive showtimes on a daily basis, either on your phone or your computer. We're trying to eliminate that entity that has a very short shelf life, which is the Post, and it has a 3-day turnaround, which is if we change showtimes to accommodate something else or to make it longer, it's in the newspaper. We can't change it. So, which is why you're seeing bad showtimes. Not to say we won't go into print, and not to say that they won't keep running it for free, because we're having negotiations. But the goal is to eliminate print the way we know it. It's very expensive. Very expensive. And for us, you know, and come to find out, I'm going to crab a little bit. Come to find out, when I was talking to them recently, they have all these other properties, like online, STL Today, which I knew, we're on STL Today, but they have text messaging, they have many different other properties that they're not pitching their print partners. So obviously they were ahead of the game also, and they've been waiting for this to happen. So anyway, we want to make sure we get to our customer and our moviegoer, and we're still working that out, but no, there's going to be a change. You know AMC's been out of the newspaper, the Post-Dispatch, for 2 years now. And they have 5 theaters in the marketplace, and it hasn't affected their gross one bit, because I watch it. So sorry, whoever uses a Post. Call me. Okay. This is our website, if you haven't seen it. Oops. We have a very strong relationship with SBC, AT&T now. They're a very strong partner of ours. Darn. What soft drink do we pour? Okay, that can't be a book. I jumped to the slide too fast. Pepsi is a very important partner for us. As you can see, these are all 100th anniversary events, but they put us on their can. They do prizes and scratch-off cards. Somebody over here was asking me if this was a scratch-off card. They do scratch-off cards for us as prize winning. They put us on their packages, and we make sure they have signage, of course, in our facilities. This is really interesting. I thought you guys might like this. In 2009, U.S. per capita consumption of candy should rise by 3.0. Well, I did the little research. This is research that's only available to us right now, and it's up to 4. To total 24.4 pounds. Chocolate candy will represent approximately 53% of that total, with the remaining 47% being accounted for non-chocolate candy. Despite the obesity crisis in the U.S., as well as the rising number of Americans who are diabetic or watching their weight, sales of candy at motion picture theaters are expected to remain strong. Now, the question is, for a book, what percentage of moviegoers purchase at the concession stand? 80. Who said 80? 87. 87. Am I talking too fast?
No, I can hear it.
Okay. Okay.
I just thought you said what?
I'll slow down. Sometimes I talk really fast. 87%. What's the main thing that they purchase? And that's not for a book. Just soft drink. And then popcorn. You're right.
We think of the popcorn first and then the drink.
You know, that's really how movie going was always. We had the theory that you did the popcorn, you gave away free popcorn because they're going to buy sodas. Yeah. We have free popcorn on Wednesdays, by the way, at all of our theaters. You have to be a member of the MVP Club, which is free. Sign up. And that way I'll have your email. I can send you your show times. Okay. Oops. Just some other partnerships we have with the Gateway Grizzlies and the River City Rascals. We have signage and we help them out. Just another piece of information. I'm going to give you another book question. This is kind of interesting. Approximately 30% of popcorn is eaten outside the home in motion picture theaters, stadiums, schools, and other outlets. Most of the world's popcorn comes from U.S., which also happens to be a world leader in popcorn consumption. Americans consume approximately 17.3 billion quarts of popcorn a year. Unit sales of unpopped popcorn are expected to total over 2.1 billion pounds this year. How many tons of popcorn seed do we use? 300 tons. So who is closest? 300 tons of seed. Okay, great. 300 tons of seed. And here's the bad news. They're telling us, like everything else, you know, the grocery stores have raised their prices on food. Everybody's telling us that there's a storm in the oceans and there's fire. Popcorn seeds going up. Yeah. So that's the bad news. Just some real quick programs that we do, and you guys may be used to these. We do a summer series Last year we saw over 100,000 kids and families. It's a 6 to 8 week program for free. We run the DVDs. We also have to pay film rent and DVDs, those of you that are counting. But it's really low and it's really fun. It gets the kids going back to the movies, and it also gives them something to do in the summer. Mega screen, really quick, because it looks like we're going pretty fast here. I got to wrap it up. Mega screen, just to talk to you a little bit about it. First of its kind at Chesterfield, but we have 2 other theaters that have a mega screen. The concept of the mega screen sound system was developed in Springfield, Missouri. I think that's important because we bought the equipment, keeping the money in Missouri. I think that's important. It's over 100 speakers in this auditorium. The trailer that you hear, the whispers, which, by the way, the ba 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 was a big deal then, the whispers are a big deal now, was mixed in this auditorium because of the sound system. It's an incredible sound system. It's ribbon-driven, and besides having a 70-foot screen, it is an absolute awesome place to see a movie. It's even, in my opinion, better than IMAX. So the mega screen is certainly a place to go see Thor or any of the event films that are coming up this summer. This I just liked. Isn't that cute? I just like this slide. We do a lot of promotions in the theaters for the games for the kids. This was a giveaway. You collect so many tickets and you could possibly win a Honda motor scooter. We do a program at the end of summer called Summer Reloaded, where it costs $1, and we bring back all the movies that were a big hit. We look at the top 5 big movies of the summer, and we bring them back for $1 for a short period of time before they go on to DVD. We're tied in with the Blues. We support a Blues collector card series. This is just our website again to show you our gift cards and Fandango. We talked about Fandango. We were the first loyalty program in Missouri. I'm not sure about the country, but AMC still doesn't do it, and I think they're going to, unless they do. And you guys, no, they have movie watchers, but you can't collect points at the concession stand. Is that true still? Okay, because we were the first to do that. We had the, you could collect points automatically at box office, which is movie watcher as well. But not very many, actually no exhibitors I knew of when we rolled it out did points at the concession stand for your purchase. So you're getting double points. Oops. This is just FYI, interesting tidbit. Number of films that are released, what their ratings are since 1968. Largest percentage, R. Second largest, PG. Where's the G? Okay, how many IMAX theaters are in the US? 120. Which is pretty outstanding that we have one in St. Louis. Actually, we have 2, counting Regal. To purchase an IMAX, just if you guys are into numbers, to purchase an IMAX, it's a $2 million proposition for your auditorium. This is just I wanted to show you the brand and some of the movies that we had in IMAX when we kicked it off. Of course, Harry Potter. Okay, and then we talked about Fandango. You can buy movie tickets for our circuit through Fandango. And then finally, these are some additional programs that you guys may or may not be familiar with that we do. Family Winter Series, which is part of the summer series, where families can see movies for free. MoChip. Do you guys know about MoChip? Missouri Child Identification Program. We're a huge sponsor at our theaters. We chip kids. The Shriners do this, and they set up in the lobby, and you can bring your grandkids or your children, and that you get a DVD and the whole bit. And our Diamond series, which is art film, is usually done at like Chesterfield, DePere, those types of things, theaters. Summer movie flashback we talked about, New Year's Eve special, and then Ronnie's After Dark, which is a late show. I can't go to it, I'm too dead by then. But it's a midnight show series that they do, you know, the classics, or they'll do some gitchy films like, I don't know. Yes, thank you. I was thinking of Toast. I'm going to the Toast movie. The Toast movie. Okay, does anyone have any questions? We're probably at the end. Yes, ma'am.
If we didn't win a book, we want to buy one, where can we buy one?
That is a really good thing. It's sold at Borders, but I will give you my business card, whoever wants it, and you can buy it at our corporate office too. But supposedly I've been told that Borders doesn't keep it up, you know, quantity in-house. So I'll give you my business card.
Yep.
Yes?
Why do they have the sound so loud?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tell you one of these boss things again, and you can't tell on me, okay? Actually, the studios set the sound levels for their movies. And we, by contract, have to adhere to that. Now, if you complain to the manager, he's obligated to turn it down. Now, the reason I brought my boss into it is he wears 2 hearing aids. So he is constantly going into the auditoriums going, they're not loud enough, they're not loud enough. So combined with what the studios are telling us, bless his heart, and what he's telling us. I'm sorry, that's the truth. Yes, ma'am.
Wehrenberg Theatres have hearing.
Thank you. I didn't put this on here. We were the first in the country to have assistive listening devices in all of our theaters. So we do. And that's why, because he wears 2 hearing aids.
Do you just ask them?
You just ask a customer service. Yep,
And handicap seating?
absolutely. Every theater we have is ADA compliant. You have, especially at the IMAX, you have an elevator.